Hi everybody, this is Pam Sled with Jesus Junk Journals, and this is my series for beginning junk journal people. And today we're going to talk about decoupaging, which is one of my favorite things to do, and it has such a big impact on anything you do. I used to use it with my Bible journaling, and now I do it with my, here's some napkins that I decoupaged. And so Tuesday morning, the store in the United States has great napkins. So you can get, like, this package is $2.69. So anyway, we're gonna go play around with napkins and decoupaging. So come on, let's go. Okay, here we go. We're gonna do decoupaging. And this is for beginners, so I'm going to talk very in detail about things, assuming you have not done this before. So I have little pieces of napkins. You can get your napkins at Tuesday morning. Here's a package, $2.69, and you get a whole package. And that's one way to buy them, and they're pretty inexpensive. They're like $2 or $3 a package. But the thing about that is then you end up with a whole package of the same napkin. Another way to do it is to go to Etsy, and you can buy them from dealers who will group them so that you just get like one napkin of each and like 40 designs. And it costs more. It's quite a bit more expensive, but it gives you a really nice variety that way. So you're not stuck with a whole bunch of the same napkin. So either way you want to do it. I'm going to show you. So this is Mod Podge, this hideous looking bottle. This is what you use. Now, the reason it's ugly is because it hasn't actually held that brand of product in it for quite some time, because I keep reusing it to mix my own Mod Podge because I am cheap. In case I haven't mentioned that before. So here is my big bottle of Elmer's glue that I got at Walmart. I forget how much it costs, but that way I always have glue. I mix my own Mod Podge, and it is 2 parts glue to 1 part water, or if you like it thicker, you can do 3 parts glue to 1 part water. Put it in the bottle, shake it up, and you've got Mod Podge. Now that's the matte finish. They do have gloss finish Mod Podge, and I like to use that like on the covers to seal them, sort of, and they're shiny, and it is a nice finish. And I go ahead and buy the Mod Podge. You can make your own gloss Mod Podge. The recipes are out on Pinterest. I think you use a water-based varnish and pour into it and add, and it makes it shiny. So either way, remember your 40% coupon at Hobby Lobby. You can go in and for every trip you're in there, I guess you could do it more than once a day. For every trip you go in, I have the app on my phone, and you just open it up and there's the coupon, and they scan it on your phone. And I'm not really that techie, but I managed to do the Hobby Lobby one. So you can buy go in every time you drive by Hobby Lobby, even if there's not something major that you need, go in and get yourself a bottle of Mod Podge or a bottle of glue or a pair of scissors, or just, my sister goes in and takes her husband, and I have done that with my husband a couple times, but he doesn't really like to go in there. But he gets an item, she gets an item. And, it ends up saving a lot of money. It's a great way to get your distress inks and all those Tim Holtz things that are so expensive. Let me continue my Hobby Lobby commercial. They have sales, as you probably know, and they change out every week. And I think that the Tim Holtz products goes on sale every 3 weeks. So if you watch for it, check it out online and stuff. There's every 3rd week, his stuff I think is 40% off, something like that. Anyway, enough commercials about those things. So this is my favorite napkin. I love it. It's an olive tree or whatever, and I think it's so pretty. So I'm going to use that. So you get these napkins, and they come in usually 3 layers. And so you take a Scotch tape, or I usually use a roll of your washi tape will work, whatever you have tape, and tear it and then separate that layer off. Just pulls off. Save this tissue paper, and you can use it for paper towels, or you can wrinkle it up and make the cover. Actually, the cover of my last journal, I took it and used this and Mod Podge and created this really thick kind of look like leather out of it. And there's usually a second layer of tissue. You'll know if, I mean, look at it close, make sure there is 2 layers. You don't want to tear the design layer. But most of these are nice napkins, and they have 3 layers. And I've got a Walmart bag over here full of the tissue from the backs, so it comes in handy. These I've already separated. I'll go ahead and I don't know, you may be watching my other series of videos on the Heaven Journal, and I'm doing the same almost exact thing, and I apologize to you if you're watching me be redundant, but this series is for beginners, and so hopefully it will maybe be the one that people will go to, you know, a year from now and still be a beginner one. So I am repeating what I'm doing. So anyway, now this one feels like it's only got 2 layers. I'm going to be more careful with that. And what I was going to tell you, you can get napkins on Etsy. Like I said, you can get different ones, a whole bunch of different ones. But be careful and watch and see who you're buying from, and make sure that I bought these napkins, and there were 40 napkins, I think, and they never came, and they never came, and it was like 3 months, I think, before they showed up. And I had just finally got exasperated and thought I'd been ripped off, and so I'd canceled the order. And of course, the day I canceled the order, they're in the mail. And the person online had used an English name, but after I bought it and looked at it a little closer, it was from Russia, and the alphabet was not English. I couldn't even pronounce the name of the person, and it had to come from Russia, and it did come from Russia. I did get the product. They didn't do anything illegal, but it took forever. So just be aware of that when you buy things on Etsy. Okay, so I think I have enough pieces and parts. I'm going to also use this piece of sheet music. We did the tea staining, so there's some tea staining going on, plus it's old. And let me pull up. So if you use the digital kits and you folded your pages in half and all that, you have, like, here's a page from my Heaven journal. All the backs, though, are waiting for you to do something fun on. So I am going to, oh, that's almost exactly the size. So I am gonna cut this out. So that it roughly is, I'll trim it later after I've glued it down. But this is just the simplest thing in the world. And I was going to do this one too. Let me do this real quick. I don't know if you've decoupaged before. It's funny how things come and go. When I was in high school, it was a very hot craft. And so I decoupaged everything that held still long enough. I worked at a dime store, and decoupaging on wood was big back then, so I bought all these wood plaques and decoupaged all these pictures from magazines and things on them. Anyway, here it is again. Okay, so this has 3 layers. Macrame was big then too, and it's back. Another generation is learning how to tie knots. Okay, so there's that. So all you do is you put your Mod Podge on. It's really all about the Mod Podge. Oh, you know what? Before I do this, this is where I didn't do so well on the last one. Here's how this works. And you know what? I'm even going to get the right brush. Hang on just a second. Okay, so take a small brush and a bowl of water, and this has got paint and other things in it, but it still works. You draw around the part that you want to tear out with a little fine brush. And here's why. Because it's fine tissue paper, once you hit that water that you drew on there, it just pulls out and gives you a really nice feathered edge. And you get exactly what you want. So, in a perfect world, you would plan this out ahead, tear these out. These are cute little flowers to add on to the edges somewhere. I'm just going to lay those to the side because those look like I might want to use those. And on this one, I love this big fern leaf, so I'm going to use that for sure. Don't like that thing there, so I'm going to get rid of it. And I don't like a straight edge that much, so I'm going to go ahead and tear the edge on this. You could cut it with scissors, but this feathered edge is just a lot prettier. You can also pinch it off with your fingers, which I usually do because I forget what I'm supposed to do and need it right away. Okay, so there's that. Oh, this is a nice napkin. Now, this would actually be worth having a whole package of. Maybe I will be fortunate to find it at Tuesday morning one of these days. Okay, so I'm going to pull that off. Pull these off. I'm going to go ahead and separate these pieces out so I can put them where I want them. It's a nice little one there. Fill in an open spot. Okay. So, got all our little pieces. Go ahead and do this is, well, let's see. I've used this before. It's kind of big, so you kind of end up having to crop it, which I don't like because it's pretty. The whole thing is pretty. Okay. I'm just going to crop it right there. And then cut this off. This is a nice piece for a secondary design piece. Okay, I think we've got enough to start now. So I'm going to take my page. And I'm going to go ahead and pour some of this on because it's going to take a lot. This paper's heavier. And I use an old paintbrush that's doesn't bother me if I mess it up. You can get one at Walmart or somewhere. And then when you're done, be sure you wash it out really well, or it will be very stiff. Now, you can revive it because this is water-based glue, so I have accidentally left it, and you can put it in water, and eventually it does soften up, and you can use it again. So don't throw it away, but it's a lot easier if you clean it up to begin with. So this is taking quite a bit of glue because it's the whole sheet. I have a plastic table with a plastic tablecloth on it from the dollar store, and this is my wet side that I work on. That's why it looks so messy. It's got tea on it and everything else. Okay. Just line that up. Press out from the center. Didn't quite get it to line up, which is not a disaster, but I think I can do a better job. So I'm going to see if I can get it just exactly where I want it. Better. Okay, so it's got glue on that side. Now you want to put some glue on this side. It will soak through and help to glue it. So you want to get it on the whole thing. The sheet music I got at a flea market really inexpensively. There's a lot of it out there, so you could find it with no problem if you wanted to get some. Okay, so pretty much have the whole thing covered. It will pucker and wrinkle, just so you know, but you just do the best you can to smooth it out. And then it's wet with the glue, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up one of these big, I think I'll pick up this big fern and lay on it. And you start in the middle of your tissue and go out in rays like the sun from the center. And pin it down carefully, don't tear it. And then once you've got it kind of pinned down in all directions, go back with some more Mod Podge and gently smooth it out, get the wrinkles out of it. And the white just melts away and you can see the music and all that behind it. So it's so pretty. Like I mentioned in my last video, people are doing decoupaging on furniture. I saw a dresser. I forget if it was on Pinterest or YouTube. Somebody had decoupaged a dresser using napkins, and it was gorgeous. That would make me a nervous wreck, though, because they do wrinkle. So I think I would not want to do that, but God bless anybody that tries it. And then I'll use some of these secondary ferns over here. Let's see. Careful when it's got a fold that it'll kind of make a wrinkle if you're not careful. So be sure you pull it out. But it couldn't be easier, really. And so fun. And beautiful. You know, you don't have to be an artist and be able to paint the fern. You just have to be able to go and buy the napkin at Tuesday morning. Or TJ Maxx or whatever discount store you can find them at. Hobby Lobby had some neat ones at Easter that were said he has risen, and it had gold foil on it. It was really pretty, and I decoupaged that into my journaling Bible. Okay, so that's that. And then you just lay it over and let it dry. It will buckle and pucker a little bit, but don't worry about it. Because you can smooth it out later. It will, once it's dry, it smooths out, but also when it's in the journal, it's going to press against the other pages and that'll iron it out. If you really want it flat, you could iron it. So there's a lot of things you can do, so don't worry about it. All right, on to our next step.